Light Restore do its job.
It's so easy to use, and it looks amazing.
So before you go and spend hundreds on replacement lights, protect your lenses for life. Order White New Headlight Restore for just $9.99. Call right now and we'll double your order. That's two, one for each car. You get 2 White New Headlight Restore kits for just $9.99. Call now. White New, keeping your world like new.
Easy to use White New Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in just seconds. The last time you'll have to restore your headlights. Call 1-800-551-6780. Order now.
Just moments away from first serve here as we welcome you back to Stanford University NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. A look at the Loyola Ramblers lineup, an outstanding season at 27-2. Ricky Jevis, only a freshman, playing at the opposite. He is really critical so far tonight in this championship. Cody Caldwell out of Newport Beach, not too far from here, maybe a couple hundred miles south of where we are here at Stanford. Last year's most outstanding player, Peter Hutz, a player to watch as well at the setting position. And for Lewis, 27-3 on the year. Fitterer, very important at the opposite. Greg Petty, really a wonderful bookend to Jeff Powell. Bobby Walsh, middle blocker, the #1 blocker in the nation. Lewis, the #1 blocking team in the nation. So Lewis will be in white, and Loyola of Chicago will be in the maroon uniforms. Best 3 out of 5 sets. First 4 sets to 25 points. Must win by 2. And we are set to go. And here is Greg Petty, had 15 kills against Penn State on 29 swings in the semifinal on Thursday night. And that first serve out of bounds. You know, we talk about the size and the strength and the hitting and the blocking, Dane, but still the game comes down to who wins the serve-receive battle. So we'll be watching that very closely all match long.
Absolutely, and usually at the start of a match, there's a little bit of jitters, but you want to really bring it.
First swing by Powell, rolling over the top. And an unforced error off the right side that time by number 14, Eric Fitterer. Jevis with a nice high swing, high up into the hands to get ahead in the point for the Ramblers of Loyola of Chicago. Acer! Thomas Jeske working on the libero.
Wow, that was incredible. He just went for it. Lucas Yanez can't get out of the way, tries to dodge a bullet, and gets picked off.
Very good start for Loyola. Again, the defending champions when they beat Stanford last year, 3-1 on their home court. Quickly looking for the early lead. Not a great set. That ball drifting back off the net, Dane. Again, meeting for the 4th time. Lewis won the first 2 meetings 3-1. And then in the Midwest Intercollegiate Volleyball Association Championships, it was Loyola returning the favor. And interesting talking to both coaches. They said, you know, what did we learn from those first 2 matches or first 3? Said, look, there were injuries. It was early in the season. I think they were really pointing to this penultimate matchup for the NCAA championship.
And that's what we mentioned at the top of the show. First time they'll be playing, obviously, for a national title, so the stakes are so high.
Oh, an unforced error and a very, very poor start for Lewis. They got to be concerned here early on. Nick Olson, the 6'10" middle blocker, with a tough serve into the cross court. There is Shane Davis, head coach at Loyola, now in his 12th season, former player, now coaching at his alma mater. And there a service winner here for Olson. And a quick early timeout called by the #1 seed, Lewis Flyers. Loyola out to a very quick start.
Whoa, mister, what is that?
The patio and everything on it's filthy, so I'm giving it all a good cleaning.
But that stuff can do a number on our grass and plants.
Ah, but this is Scott's new outdoor cleaner powered by OxyClean. It's chlorine bleach-free, so it's safe to use around grass and plants and makes quick work of cleaning outdoor dirt and mildew stains. Looks great, doesn't it?
Aye, great.
Is that how I sound? Get Scott's new outdoor cleaner plus OxyClean. Clean your outdoor space. Clean it.
Strong. It comes from a place where raw strength is just a starting point. Where doing something means doing it right. Where unrivaled dependability is backed by the strongest warranty in the business. And the only job is a job well done. Welcome to Strongsville. Experience Cub Cadet Strong with the new XT Enduro Series. Find exceptional financing and a dealer near you.
The NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. You and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together.
Beautiful evening here in Northern California. The Men's NCAA Championship's just underway. Opening set live here from Maples Pavilion on ESPNU. Loyola University of Chicago, the Ramblers, came in as the #3 seed and currently out to a very, very fast start against Lewis. Both teams out of the Midwestern Intercollegiate Volleyball Association. And a much-needed kill by number 13 off the left side, Jeff Powell, who happens to be celebrating his 23rd birthday. And there is their head coach, Dan Friend, in his 11th season, the reigning American Volleyball Coaches Association Coach of the Year, 27-3 overall. Chevis again ripping inside, 6'11", Dane, 245-pound freshman.
Yeah, he is impressive. I couldn't believe that they told me he was a freshman when I saw him walk into the gym. He's a force, and he's only going to get better as the years go on.
Another quick look at Shane Davis, Coach of the Year nationally last year when his team won their first ever national championship. Rip out of the middle. Beautifully done by Lewis, number 22. Jacob Schmiegelt, 6'7", redshirt sophomore.
Schmiegelt gets up quick, early, no one on Loyola up, and he just buries that thing straight down.
Here's Powell, first look at a very tough jump serve, handled perfectly. And right back out of the middle.
Another freshman right there, Jeff Jendrick, for Loyola, coming in strong, not burying this one straight down. He opts to go for that back deep line. Great strategy.
Jendrick, the National Newcomer of the Year, second-team All-American out of Wheaton, Illinois. Good cover by Caldwell, and then Jeske hard into the cross court.
These teams are so tough. Lewis, known for their blocking, arguably the best blocking team in the nation, but Loyola, one of the best serving teams, and they're showing it right here early on in this first set.
Cody Caldwell, again, 20 kills last year in the championship match against Stanford. Most valuable player in the tournament, a rip off the left side. And it looks like, after a very poor start by Greg Petty and Lewis, that they've settled down a little bit.
Yeah, usually at the beginning of a match, you have those jitters. I remember playing in this match, very nervous at the beginning. You kind of have to settle things down, and the only way to do that is just to bring your game and let it happen.
Schmiegelt again, good pass. Very good passing so far in ball control. Jeske off the left side, but again, very good reception overall, very early for University of Chicago.
Yeah, every coach you talk to, how are you going to win? They say we got to control the ball, pass well, and stay in the system.
Nice play again, and another important kill by Petty once again.
So Loyola leading Lewis early.
At 27-2. And again, the fourth meeting between these two teams. Chevis is stopped, and that's going to be a, well, they're saying that ball didn't clear. Boy, that looked like it hit into the block of Lewis.
Yeah,
interesting to see on this replay, Dane.
I completely agree. This ball was definitely touched by a blocker the way I saw it real time. Here it comes. There it is,
yeah.
Right off the block. That's an easy one. Not sure how you missed that on top, but of course, looking at replay is a lot easier than real time.
Perfect pass by Powell off the soft block. And Petty with a change of pace. And here comes Lewis after trailing 6-1, now down only 10-7.
Great play to finish this thing off, but it was Jeff Powell, who's playing defense way off the court, makes that play possible.
Opposite, Eric Fitterer back to serve. Boy, quickly to the outside. Wonderful delivery that time by number 2, Peter Hutz, the 6'4" junior setter for Loyola Chicago.
Well, that one really served tough, but look at the pass. Beautiful pass, and then it goes out to the National Player of the Year, Jayski, and he's able to just bang it right through.
Here is Hutz, Loyola leading 11-7, opening set, best 3 out of 5. Left side again, and this against 3 very big blockers, 6'11", 6'10", 6'6", stuff for Loyola Chicago.
Lewis has to be careful there. Too predictable on that set. You don't want to have 3 blockers in your face because there's just nowhere to go for the hitter.
Perfect example of Loyola being in system, Lewis being out of system. You pass the ball off the net, you're facing 3 huge blockers. Service error that time by Hutz.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And at this level, when you have 3 blockers in your face, there's just really nowhere to go.
Hutz surveying the setter for Loyola, Greg Petty, 6'6" senior out of Downers Grove, Illinois, second team All-American this year. Change of pace right on the sideline that time by Jevis.
Jevis showing that he's got some finesse to his game. We've seen him really banging on the right side. That time, a little tight set. Great shot.
Jevis moved into the starting lineup. He got the opportunity because of an injury. And he has taken full advantage, and at 6'11", 245 pounds. Shane Davis, the 12-year head coach at Loyola Chicago, said that he's doing some things that have just really surprised us and taken us to a different level. Petty on the back row quick combination. Side out and point for Lewis. Cody Caldwell off the top of the block and out of bounds for the score.
Yeah, Cody Caldwell trying to work himself into this. As you mentioned, in last year's national championship, 20 kills he posted. So he knows what it takes to compete at this level. And I think Loyola really has an edge having that experience under their belt.
Free ball coming to Loyola. Off the left side, Caldwell is stuffed. And remember that play. Big block that time by Jacob Schmiegelt. A real momentum opportunity for Loyola here.
Yeah, well, Loyola did everything they could to get Lewis in trouble, completely got him out of system, got a free ball. You can't ask for anything more here. And then the set outside, Schmiegelt stuffing it right back at Loyola and getting the point.
Pfeiffer with a jump float out of the middle once again. Very aggressive setting by Peter Hutz, this time into the middle to the fine freshman number 21 for Loyola. Jeff Jendrick, who you talked about earlier, 6'10" out of Wheaton, Illinois. Jevis, easy jump serve to handle. Dug by Selski and kept alive by Loyola. And on the back row combination, what a dig by Jevis. The big man playing some defense, looking like a young Dane Blanton.
Wow, that ball was hit with such velocity. If you watch right here, Petty comes all the way under the net with his momentum. Just an amazing hit there.
Petty now with 5 kills to lead the offense early. And then that ball sprayed out of bounds on the combination by Jeshki. So going back to the beginning of this opening set, Loyola broke out early, taking advantage of a lot of errors by Lewis. They led it 6-1, but if you're Lewis, all the mistakes you made early, Dane, you look up, it's only 15-12, feeling pretty good.
Well, you're feeling real good about yourself. And then a little bit of Loyola's own medicine, an ace serve right there. They're looking good, only trailing by 2.
Jeff Powell, the All-American with the ace, and Lewis is right back in it against Loyola of Chicago. two teams that know one another exceptionally well. You want to serve aces, you got to serve seams, and this one with nobody home.
Hi, Phil Swift here. This is Flex Shot, the easy way to caulk, bond, and seal. Simply push the trigger to make quick repairs with pinpoint accuracy. Flex Shot fills huge cracks and holes, making everything completely waterproof. And it's mildew resistant, perfect for kitchens and baths. Flex Shot is a super strong adhesive that lasts up to 30 years. Water gushes out of this huge hole. But after it's sealed with Flex Shot, there's absolutely no leaks. That's amazing. You can get Flex Shot for just $19.99. Plus, we'll include this extension tube. But wait, we're gonna double your order. That's 2 cans of Flex Shot and send you a free handy can of Flex Seal. The easy way to stop leaks fast. You get it all for just $19.99. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-735-0877 or go to getflexshot.com. That's 1-800-735-0877. Order now.
Opening set of the national championship. Loyola on top 15-13. And now let's take a look at how these two teams plan for success. Brought to you, Dane, by Northwestern Mutual.
Yeah, the big keys for this one. For Loyola, their offense must be diversified to confuse, and I told you they're a great serving team. They have to pick up the aces and get the easy winners. For the Flyers, the best blocking team in the NC2A, they have to step up their blocking. We're seeing that here in this set, but they also have to have solid discipline. The reason they lost to Loyola in the MIVA championship, coach said, discipline wasn't there. The discipline block, the discipline pass, and the defense. If they have those things, they'll be in good shape.
Out of the timeout, Powell once again. Caldwell tucking the ball down inside the block. Once again, Loyola got out 6-1. They led 9-3, but that ended, that kill by Cody Caldwell, that ended a 4-1 run for Lewis.
If Lewis can come back and steal this set, I mean, it would be devastating for Loyola the way that they started in command.
On the overpass, tight play at the net. And that's going to be a blocking violation called against number 21 for Loyola, Jeff Jendrick. And Shane Davis questioning that call.
Yeah, there it is. There has to be a part of the ball on top of the plane of the net. The referee is saying that the ball never cleared the plane, therefore the blocker can't go over and attack that ball. It's a crucial call for Lewis right there to get that point.
Well, good job by the Lewis setter being very aggressive on that tight pass to go up and get a piece of that and draw the violation as that ball is served out of bounds. Jendrick, group of freshmen have stepped in for Loyola, and they have not missed a beat. Good touch out of the middle. And a better block. That ball might have been going out of bounds.
Oh, it was.
Really quick transition, but Jevis there put a hand on a ball that would have been a kill.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Paul. I think this ball's going out of bounds. Let's see the deflection. There it is. Yeah. And Jevis just touches it right in front of the ref. Easy call.
Good high, hard swing by Jeschke, but the point will go to Lewis. Fitterer back to serve, 6'8" senior out of Edwardsville, Illinois. And he missed that ball out of bounds. You look at the serving right now for Lewis. They have the one ace by Powell, but they've missed 3. What kind of ratio do you want?
You know what? If you miss a few, 3-1, 2-1, you have to start thinking about it if you miss too many. But you want to go for it, especially if you're a good serving team, and we know Loyola is known for that. You got to kind of live by the sword, die by the sword. Really go for it.
Back-to-back service errors. You got to get teams that are as big and physical as both of these out of system, off the net. Greg Petty back to the line, leading the way offensively so far with Lewis. And another service error. Jeschke will go back to serve. I said that was 1 ace and 3 errors. It's 1 ace and now 5 errors for Lewis. Loyola leading by 3. Here's Jeschke. Powell through the block. Beautiful dig by Hutz. Petty off the block on the back row.
I'll tell you what, Loyola better start honing into Petty because he is attacking balls pretty much all over the place. This is the Bick out of the middle where he's been so effective, they just can't seem to get a beat on it.
Boy, do these two teams know one another. Beautiful swing by Jevis over the top of the block. Middle back for Lewis was just standing right there. What else you got? Tom Logan on to serve now for Lewis. Jevis again, one-on-one, bang, bang, ball is up. To Powell, who rips into the cross court, dug, but out of bounds. Lewis is right back in this game.
Yeah, what an exciting first set. This is exactly what we expected. Two very evenly matched teams, laying it on the line, and they're starting with their serves. Taking a look at Loyola, 2 aces, 5 errors. Lewis looks like 1 ace there, but we know Lewis has about 6 or 7 errors at this point.
That ball is down. Another service winner here for Lewis. Timeout is called by Loyola. Again, led 6-1, 9-3. And Lewis has come all the way back to tie this match at 19 apiece. But it was 1 year ago in Chicago that the Ramblers out of Loyola University Chicago won their first ever national championship, 3-1 over the Stanford Cardinal.
You couldn't ask for a better story. Winning on your home court, the place was absolutely electric. Cody Caldwell put down 20 kills, and the Ramblers hit 452, taking down Stanford.
Shane Davis in his 12th year, visiting with his starting setter, Peter Hutz, wearing number 22, wearing number 2 in maroon. That is his assistant, Chris Berzins, and if you're familiar with that, there is Chris Berzins, assistant coach. His father, Aldous, star of the 1984 Olympic team, along with Karch Kirai, Steve Timmons, Pat Powers, Dusty Dvorak, and so many others. Not new territory for Loyola Chicago. Lost in the semifinals a couple of years ago. First time in the championship match for Dan Friend and Lewis.
Yeah, it's absolutely history. First time that no West Coast team is in the national championship, and to have 2 MIVA teams going at it, it's really something special. And what's most impressive, you're going to have a MIVA team winning 3 out of the last 5 national championships. Just goes to show you how balanced volleyball has become on the men's side nationwide.
A chance for Lewis to take their first lead. And that ball ripped into the cross court, dug, but can't be kept in play. And Jeff Powell, as advertised, high flyer and a rocket arm swing.
Jeff Powell out of Claremont, California. He has been the leader of this team. First team All-American. He knows when to switch gears.
Lewis on an 11-5 run. Loyola was the first ball side out at a very, very high percentage. The 6th service error for Lewis. But I guess you say, wait a minute. That's gaudy ugly, but it's Lewis who's made the comeback, and they're right back in this match now, tied at 20.
Remember how effective their block is. That can get them out of a lot of trouble, and it has thus far here in set number 1.
Lewis is attacking at over 400, which is absolutely superb. Anything over 300 is pretty darn good at this level. Robert Chilcote into serve now for Loyola. Loyola easily beat UC Irvine in their semifinal. Well, Lewis was victorious over Penn State. Powell again inside the block.
Wow, I'll tell you what, Powell has some serious range. He's just 6'4", so he's going up against some giants on the other side of the net, but he really is crafty. He knows how to work that ball around the block.
You made a great point, Dane. That block that he just hit around was 6'11" and 6'10". Back row combination, beautiful dig that time by Lewis into the cross-court corner. And a touch is called against Loyola by the linesman in the deep cross-court corner. And now Lewis with a 22-20 advantage.
Wow, I did not see the touch. Let's see if we can see it here. There's the hit, possibly on the top of the fingertips of Gentrick, but very difficult to see.
22-20 advantage. And out of the middle, ball hit out of bounds, and what a turnaround.
That's how crucial that touch call was. Instead of it being 21-all, Loyola goes up by 2, and then you have an error. Now they're up by 3. Things have changed quickly.
And Loyola is out of timeouts. 23-20 advantage. Remember, first 4 sets to 25 points. Must win by 2. Tight pass. And an unforced error by Jeske, and now it will be set points for Lewis.
Schmigel up on the block. He creates this, and then the overpass, he just kind of fists it down, and you see the emotion and the body language on the side of Lewis. They are jacked.
You wouldn't know it the way this match started. Lewis trailing 6-1, but they are on a 15-6 run. First set point serve just over the end line. Service error number 7. 7 free points to Loyola, and still Lewis with a set point. Back row combination to Petty.
Petty just absolutely too strong, coming out of the middle there, putting the ball away. What a turnaround by Lewis.
Greg Petty got Lewis out of trouble. The #1 seeds in this year's NCAA tournament. And then first-team All-American Jeff Powell got it going as well. Lewis trailed big early, but stormed back on a 16-6 run to take the opening set in this NCAA championship presented by Northwestern Mutual.
People are going crazy for these one-day fantasy baseball leagues at FanDuel.
On FanDuel, I've won over $62,000.
Fantasy baseball on FanDuel is easy. Just choose a league, pick your team, and get your cash winnings the next day.
There's $1 games, there's $2 games.
Each player has a different value. You can click on that player and insert them right into your lineup.
Try FanDuel today, and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $200.
With FanDuel, you get your winnings right away.
Go to FanDuel.com, click on the microphone to get a bonus of up to $200. Enter promo code SCORE.
Schick Extreme 3. 3 flexible blades that adapt to any contour for extreme comfort. Schick Extreme 3. Try Extreme 3 Ultimate. More glide, better comfort for your skin.
Nature. I like this place.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that game show hosts should only host game shows?
Samantha, do you take Kevin as your lawfully wedded husband?
Or would you rather have a new car? Say hello to the season's hottest convertible. Oh, and say goodbye to Samantha.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Back at Maples Pavilion, Stanford University NCAA Championship, and Lewis trailed 6-1, 9-3, but then closed on a 16-6 run to storm back and take the opening set in this best 3 out of 5 over Loyola 25-21. Back with Dane Blanton, Paul Sunderland, a very special guest, and an old friend, John Kessel, head of development for USA Volleyball.
Good to see you again.
And really interesting, John, and Dane and I have talked about it for the first time ever. 2 teams from the Midwest playing for this NCAA championship. Penn State has been superb, Ohio State good, BYU good, but talk to us about what you're coordinating to help continue the growth of men's volleyball. It's a challenge, everybody knows it. There are not many NCAA programs in the Division I on the men's side.
Yeah, there's just over 20. What we're doing is we've got some grant programs with USA Volleyball to help both D1, 2, and 3 programs get going, and we're worried a little bit because of the Big 5 situation that's going on, that some Olympic sports are threatened, and that's a big concern right now.
Well,
so
the United States,
helping out.
The United States, and Dane, of course, played a big part of that, winning a
2 gold
medal.
medalists right here.
Well, mine was a long time ago. People don't remember, but Dane's was in 2000 on the beach. But look, our women are the reigning world champions.
Yeah.
They've won the last 2 Olympic silver medals. Our men have won 3 Olympic gold medals, a remarkable accomplishment. And yet, look, we're focusing on the men's side. And yet still, and Dane knows it, you know it, and I know it, USA Volleyball knows it, it's a struggle on the men's side.
It's a challenge, and yet, you know, you see something like varsity start 20 years ago in Illinois, and the end of that is, I don't know, what, 20 people on the roster out here that are playing at a level of D1 volleyball. Some of these guys are going to be playing overseas professionally, even if we don't have a pro league, which is part of the frustration.
Well, and some of them are going to be playing for John Spurr on the U.S. national team very soon. And you made an interesting point. Illinois high school volleyball has really developed. Pennsylvania, second only to California, and is really coming on as well.
You know, there's a factoid that most people don't know. Where
I
was
love
the
factoids,
first?
by the way.
Okay. Where's the first state high school championships in the United States for boys? And what year? The answer is 1932 in Pennsylvania.
Wow, interesting.
32?
Wow.
I mean, that's a couple days ago.
It's so crazy. I mean, we spoke this morning, actually, at breakfast, and I looked. 18 of these players come out of Illinois.
One state. Isn't that awesome?
Illinois is just a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, you know, part of the contribution is in speaking to Kevin Barnett, a colleague of ours, comes from the Illinois area. And I asked him about it, the growth of Midwestern volleyball. And again, it's been good with Penn State and Ohio State through the decades. But he said the coaching and the club level play and the high school level is so much better.
It's going up and up and up, and you know, that's the result is the level of play you're seeing that 10 years ago, you know, you'd be going, wow, look how fast they're running things and the bics and everything. So it's something we all have to be proud of.
Well, let's get back to this national championship at stake. 4th meeting between Loyola and Lewis. Scott Pfeiffer, the setter for Lewis, back to serve. Dane, you made a really interesting point that I want to get back to. Lewis comes back after Loyola of Chicago got off to that big start. Put yourselves over on Loyola's side. How do they react to that mentally and emotionally? Because they gave that opening set away.
Yeah, they really did. You have to really just settle down, know that this is a long match. You got to win 3 out of 5. You let one slip away, but you have to let it go. You have to put it in your rearview mirror, and you have to start playing well. But Lewis continues to put the pressure on Loyola, and it'll be interesting to see if they can recover. If you look at body language, Lewis has been up since the middle of that first set, and they have not let off the gas. They're really pressing right now, putting Loyola in all sorts of trouble.
Lucas Yanez wearing number 8 in the off-color jersey for Lewis with a spectacular dig, and then Petty with a high tap down. Jeves off of Pfeiffer and out of bounds for a much-needed kill. Number 14, Ricky Jeves, 6'11", 245-pound freshman, averages 2.3 kills per set. Kind of player that would, in due course, look pretty good in a USA uniform. out of the middle once again for Loyola, and a youngster, Jeff Jendrick, who you talked about, Dane, in the opening set, coming through on the quick.
This is exactly what Loyola has to do. Put Lewis in trouble with their serving. They're known for their serving, Loyola is. And up until this point, Lewis has passed the ball pretty well, but if Loyola can create points off the serve, they're going to be in much better shape.
Pow, right over the top of the block. You know, and Dane, we talked about nerves for Lewis early when they were not, their first ball contact was not what it should have been. Look at this. They're in system time and time again now.
Well, then it's wild. Jeff Powell's arm swing is so quick. That's one thing it's very difficult to teach, quickness on that arm swing. He's got great mechanics. And there's Jendrick out of the middle once again. Remember, he is the national newcomer of the year, number 21, Jendrick. Look at him come in. Look how high he gets, head and shoulders above the net for that put away.
John, we've just got a few more minutes with you, and your son competed at Princeton, if I'm not mistaken, right? Had a pretty good year as well. How was that following his career and development at the collegiate level?
It's, you know, it's a delight to be able to see someone that loves the game that just happens to be related to you. And
just happened.
He's going to be playing overseas, and he's going to be playing with the WUG team coming up here this summer. You know, you're going to see a WUG team for the U.S. Oh, that one's way out. They're looking for a touch.
Yeah, a sitter there for Jendrick and missed that ball out of bounds. Can't make those kind of mistakes.
But it's been a delight to see him mature and grow up and go to a great school like Princeton, and Harvard's got a great program, and Penn State. So the East Coast is getting strong in the EIVA. And of course, this is an all-MIVA finals right here, you know?
First time it's ever happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Penn State has won recently. Ohio State won in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, Loyola are the defending champions.
Yeah, if you look at the last 5 years, you're looking at Midwest and East Coast teams winning, not necessarily the teams that have dominated for decades. And Al Skates is down the row here a little bit with his 19 titles, and just sort of observing and saying sort of the same things. Oh my gosh, it's all over the nation now. It's not just in California.
Into the deep cross-court corner as he misses that out of bounds. So Loyola giving some free points to Lewis here.
It was interesting. We spoke to Al Skates right before the match, and he said it's not that hard to repeat if you have some of the same guys coming back. You know, I'd beg to differ, but he has a point. You have that experience, and that is invaluable. Getting experience to come back and do this again, and that's the position that Loyola is in, and they need to use it.
Fitterer, tough serve. That ball just kept alive. Yanez, the libero for Lewis, doing an exceptional job. Powell with a change of pace. Joust coming at the net. Free ball for Lewis. Boy, not a good set. And we talked about Tom Jeske, number 17 in maroon. The National Player of the Year. Got off to a good start, but he's been quiet since, Dane.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication. Great pancake there by Fitterer, keeping that ball into play. And then later in the rally, it just seems like Jeske having a bit of miscommunication with his setter.
Look at these hitting numbers. Lewis, 424. Loyola Chicago, 111. And adding to those totals, if you're wondering, Loyola on the year, Dane, hits 357 as an average on the year, hitting 111. We'll step aside. We'll say goodbye to our very special guest, John Kessel, Director of Sports Development for USA Volleyball. Lewis up 1-0 and 9-7 here at Stanford.
Does your car suffer from cataracts? You heard right, cataracts. You know, those aging, foggy headlights. Well, we have the cure. White new Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in seconds and guaranteed to pass inspection as long as you own your car or truck. We detailed this old Mercedes. It looks fantastic, except for those foggy, ugly headlights. Now watch White new Headlight Restore do its job.
It's so easy to use, and it looks amazing.
So before you go and spend hundreds on replacement lights, protect your lenses for life. Order White new Headlight Restore for just $9.99. Call right now and we'll double your order. That's two, one for each car. You get 2 White new Headlight Restore kits for just $9.99. Call now, White New, keeping your world like new.
Easy to use White New Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in just seconds. The last time you'll have to restore your headlights. Call 1-800-551-6780. Order now.
This is the 46th Men's NCAA Volleyball Championships presented by Northwestern Mutual. Back with NCAA and Olympic champion Dane Blanton. I'm Paul Sunderland. Lewis came back from a 9-3 deficit to take the opening set 25-21 and are now hitting .441, led by Jeff Powell, the first team All-American. And there it is. I mentioned 357 on the season. Lewis 345, way over that. Why the problems for Loyola?
Well, I'm telling you, Lewis is causing all sorts of problems with their huge block. They're known to be a great blocking team, if not the best, and they're starting to show it. It's really enforcing their will against Loyola, and Loyola has not been able to respond.
Here's Fitterer once again, and in spite of all the service errors, it's Lewis who has put all the reception problems. Boy, a little bit of a stumble and a miscue there that time by Ricky Jevis. And now Lewis on top 10-7. Remember, they closed out the opening set on a 16-6 run. So they've outscored Loyola 23-13 over the last quarter of the first set and the beginning here of the second. Fitterer again. Jeschke's got to get it going, but you're right, Dane. The block of Lewis is doing a really good job. That ball deflected out of bounds by number 15, Bobby Walsh, the nation's best blocker. Look back at this miscue here. Oh, wow.
Like he rolled that left ankle, and he's already got a bandage on it. He already has a brace on that left ankle. You see there, he gets a little bit caught. It'll be interesting to see how badly he tweaked that and how well he continues.
One of the important freshmen for Loyola Chicago. That ball served out of bounds. Lewis leading 11-8. There is Ricky Jevis out of Naperville, Illinois. Moved into the starting lineup. Presented the opportunity when the previous starter was injured, and he has done nothing but improve match by match and has really given, at least to this point, Loyola a different dimension. Here's Petty. And that ball is served out of bounds.
So that's 9 serving errors for Lewis, but the way that they're playing, making it up on the defensive end and blocking, they're able to get away with this right now. They're able to roll the dice and really try to put some pressure on Loyola from the service line.
Swing down the line by Jeff Powell, 6'4", just 170 pounds, redshirt senior out of Claremont, California, inland from Los Angeles, 3-time All-American.
He's pretty amazing how he jumps so well, and his vision. When there's 2 blockers in his face, he always seems to find the open spot and is able to put that ball down.
Interesting, a long way from home. And Dan Friend, the head coach for Lewis, told us when he was redshirting his freshman year, came into the office and said, you know, coach, you know, I think I'm going to transfer. I think I'm going to head back. Stuff block here by Lewis. And Lewis played a match against Ohio State, and they won that match over the Buckeyes. The atmosphere was great. Powell came into the coach's office and said, you know, I think I'll stay, and it's turned out pretty darn well.
Absolutely. That's Schmiegel up again on the block. Lewis is showing why they're such a great blocking team right now. Reaching over, great form, great discipline.
Number 1 statistically in the NCAA's, averaging 3.4 blocks per set, which is a big number. And Loyola can do the same. 6'11", 6'10" on the outside. That's Ricky Jevis getting the stuff block here with some help out of the middle.
Yeah, Jevis and Olsen up huge. Look at the big swing block, getting it up and not only high, but pressing over the net. That's a great blocking form.
There's the little blocker Olsen back to serve, handled by Petty. And Powell, quick swing off the edges of the block and out of bounds for another kill. Lewis leading 14-10 here in the second. Powell now with 8 kills, Dane. Powell and Petty. The PPPs are just ripping Loyola right now.
Yeah, Loyola hasn't had an answer. Loyola has to make a move right now. They have to play with more of a sense of urgency. They can't go back and forth here. And see right now, they're looking, you see players looking at one another, a little miscommunication that we've seen from setter to hitter, and now we see miscommunication, a little hubby-wife, we call it, indecision between two of the players on serve receive. So Loyola has to really buckle down right now, start playing more with a sense of urgency, but more importantly, start communicating.
Perfect location on the previous serve by setter Scott Pfeiffer on the jump floater, and this handled nicely by Loyola as they come right back with a kill out of the middle. Jendrick with his 5th.
Here's a take a look at the service story. 2 aces for Loyola. And I think that graphic incorrect. It's Lewis who has 9 service errors, which is so surprising because they are in command here.
I guess the message for Loyola is they need to miss more serves and then they'll get back in this match. But you got to serve tough. And it's a risk-reward operation, Dane, as you well know. Jevis now back for Loyola. The Ramblers 27-2 on the year. There are only 2 losses to Lewis. Lewis at 27-3. And out of the middle once again, Jacob Schmiegelt, 6'7", redshirt sophomore.
Schmiegelt really came to play here tonight. Not only blocking, but look at offensively. He's up early, perfect position for his setter, giving his setter a nice target and then getting the kill.
That ball is missed out of bounds by Caldwell, but a touch is called. A touch called by the linesman. So the point and possession will go to Loyola.
That's another very difficult one to see. Let's see if we can see it here in replay. Ball's on the outside. Does that touch the fingertips? Too hard to tell. The line judge was all over it.
And he was pretty emphatic about it. There was very little doubt. Caldwell misses that jump serve. Loyola really struggling. Again, if you're just joining us, the defending national champions, the Loyola University Chicago Ramblers, got out to a 6-1, 9-3 lead, but then Lewis came storming back, 16-6 run to take the opening set and got out to a nice start here in the second. They have led throughout, now on top 17-13. That ball missed out of bounds, so now Lewis is in double figures. Schmiegelt missing that well long. 10 missed serves now for Lewis.
Well, the Ramblers, known for their jump serves, they have to turn it up. They do need it now. They can't wait till Lewis is at 22 or 23. You have to play with a sense of urgency right now.
Petty down the line after a perfect pass. Petty and Powell leading the way offensively. Number 9 in white with the kill in the front court. Jeff Powell in the back court. Petty, a second team All-American. Powell, second team last year, first team this year. 9 kills for Petty.
It's pretty amazing that Lewis has 5 All-Americans and that Loyola has 4. I mean, these 2 teams are stacked.
Jeschke into the cross court. Beautiful dig by Yanez. Powell off the top of the block. Wonderful dig by the libero for Lewis. And with that, we will step aside. Lewis continues to roll, serving, playing defense, and converting.
Dinner at Golden Corral is now ribsational. Introducing baby back ribs with KC Masterpiece barbecue sauces. Try the original, hickory brown sugar, or smoky chipotle. Unlimited everything, just $11.99. Golden Corral, the best buffet in the USA.
Whoa, mister, what is that?
The patio and everything on it's filthy, so I'm giving it all a good cleaning.
But that stuff can do a number on our grass and plants.
Ah, but this is Scott's new outdoor cleaner powered by OxyClean. It's chlorine bleach-free, so it's safe to use around grass and plants and makes quick work of cleaning outdoor dirt and mildew stains. Looks great, doesn't it?
Aye, great.
Is that how I sound? Get Scott's new outdoor cleaner plus OxyClean. Clean your outdoor space. Clean it.
A season's journey comes down to this. Every game could be your last, so you must persevere. To reach your goal and stamp your place in history, it's time to rise. The NCAA Lacrosse Championship. First round games continue Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. on ESPNU with John Hopkins taking on number 7 Virginia. And then at 3 p.m. Brown takes on number 4 Denver. And well, we have a moment. The team's coming back out on the floor. Let's take a look at the Capital One Cup standings. An update as teams compete for a combined $400,000 scholarship donation from Capital One. On the men's side, Ohio State, followed by Virginia, Duke, and Oregon. On the women's side, Stanford and Penn State, Connecticut, and Florida State, followed by the Florida Gators. Fitterer once again for Lewis. Smart shot by Petty. That ball set well off the net. And Jeschke again has been very quiet, Dane, on the left side. We're talking about the National Player of the Year. High flat shot. Smart play by number 17 in maroon for Loyola.
That was a very interesting rally. You saw about 4 tip shots. No one really bringing it, wanting to end the rally. And then it's Jeschke at the end with a soft roll shot that somehow catches Powell a little off guard in the backcourt.
Jeschke, 6'6" junior out of Wheaton, Illinois, averaging over 4 kills per set. Stuff block on the outside. Jeschke along with number 27, Nick Olson, for the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago.
This is where Loyola has to make their move. There's a great press over the net. Not sure if there was a touch or not. The referee called 4 contacts, but nonetheless, it's point for Loyola.
Left side, Petty again. All right, so it's Petty and Powell. If you're Loyola, how do you slow them down? It's been number 9, Petty, with a lot of help once again from number 13, Jeff Powell.
Well, the thing is that Petty and Powell both have very quick arm swings, and it's difficult for Loyola to track where that ball's going. And so quick, if you don't react immediately, the ball's already on the floor.
Look at that, double-digit kills already. Lewis has been superb offensively. That ball off the block and out of bounds. At the last timeout, Dane, Lewis was hitting .463, and they were holding Loyola Chicago to 128. That's a pretty good formula.
Yeah, that'll get you a national championship if you can continue that.
Here's Jeschke. Powell is stuffed out of the middle, this time again by Olson on the back row. Quick combination. So a couple of back-to-back points by Loyola, and Lewis will be forced to call a timeout.
Yeah, Olson looked really good right here. Disciplined, waited for that back row quick, and was able to just jet over the net and get the block. But Loyola right now, this is exactly where they need to make a move.
4th block by Nick Olson again forces the timeout, with Lewis leading 1-0 and 20-18 here in the second. Loyola Chicago, last year they beat Stanford in Chicago on their home floor 3-1. And you know, Chicago's a pretty good sports town, Dane. And even though the Cubs have sort of been a story of futility for a long time, they're a class organization, and they invited the Ramblers out to be their very, very special guest. Shane Davis out there enjoying the day. He threw out the first pitch. Boy, he looks ready to go. If the Cubs need some help, he looks like he could get into their starting rotation.
He looks like a pitcher.
He does indeed. A very, very special occasion for Loyola of Chicago as they finish the season with their first ever volleyball national championship. They won the NCAA basketball championship back in 1969. Shane Davis, a very, very interesting story. A graduate in 2003, and he became the coach, the head coach, the year after he graduated. Want to remind that coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the NCAA men's first round lacrosse coverage, which is on the 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. For more information on the NCAA men's lacrosse championship, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. Jeff Powell and Greg Petty leading the way. Here is Tom Jeschke trying to get Loyola on the board here in the second set. Powell through the block and down.
Wow, make it kill number 16, if you can believe it, for Jeff Powell, and we're not even to the end here of this second set. Doesn't matter how many people in front of him, he's able to put that ball down. My bad, 10 kills. That's his 16th attempt. Apologize for that.
Both he and Petty in double figures now, and that ball ripped by Caldwell into the cross court. Lewis still leading, 21-19, fourth kill for Caldwell. Last year in the championship against Stanford in 4 sets, he had 20 kills. Bothered by some injuries. He's had an abdominal strain most of the year.
Yeah, it's no secret where Lewis is going with their offensive attack each and every time. But why not continue? Because Loyola has not had an answer. They really need to get their blocking schemes a little bit tighter, make sure that those two players, Powell and Petty, have to go around them, off the top of them, and play some great defense behind the block.
Chilcote on to serve for Loyola. Into the middle, and Jendrick with a wonderful read. Pfeiffer trying to go quickly on that tight pass, and a stuff block here for the outstanding freshman.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is getting very interesting right here. Jendrick with the block. Loyola's starting to turn it on. Lewis has controlled this entire second set. If Loyola can turn this thing around and surprise them, they can swing the match back into their favor.
Loyola for the tie into the cross court. Ball right on the sideline. Caldwell with another kill.
Making their move, playing with a sense of urgency. That's what I love, and that's what Loyola's doing right now.
And a timeout called by Lewis. So Lewis was doing it in transition. Their serve receive was exceptional also. But Loyola, the defending champion, was not going to go away. Tied at 21, Lewis leading 1-0 here at the NCAA Championship. Loyola of Chicago, let's take a look and get you a little more familiar. Founded all the way back in 1870. 15,900 students. The volleyball program, you won an NCAA championship in 1992. Loyola didn't start their program until 1996. Mentioned the NCAA basketball championship. I think I said 69, it was 63. And I Google mapped Loyola Chicago and Lewis, and they are 44.6 miles apart, but we rounded it up to 45. And now for Lewis University, founded in 1932. A Catholic institution in Romeoville, Illinois. Their most notable graduate, Shaka Khan, 8-time Grammy Award winner.
There's a throwback.
Yeah, and what they're known now for, they're known for their volleyball program. That is the preeminent sport at Lewis University. 27-3 on the year, knocked out in the quarterfinals last year by Penn State. Got some revenge on Thursday night when they beat the Nittany Lions 3-0. Loyola had a very easy time with an outstanding team from UC Irvine, winning 3-0. And the second, third sets dominated by Loyola Chicago, 25-19, 25-17. Key moment here for Shane Davis, who took over the coaching reins when he was 23 years of age. Chilcote again. To Powell. Petty on the pipe is stuffed. 3-man block for Loyola.
Beautiful. What Loyola did, they tightened up their block. There was nowhere for Petty to go that time. That's what they have to do. There can be no holes in that block because Petty usually finds them. So a rare block against Petty, but it couldn't come at a better time for Loyola.
Loyola's last lead was early in the second set, 7-6. Out to Powell once again, and stuffed by Jevis. Big block by the freshman at 6'11".
Well, a little bit of Lewis's own medicine. Lewis known for their blocking, but right now it's all Loyola putting up a huge wall at the net, blocking Petty on that last play, and then Powell just then.
Lewis got to get out of this rotation, and they do. Out of the middle, a key kill by Schmiegelt, and an aggressive delivery by the setter, Scott Pfeiffer, wearing number 27 in white. Who'll go back to serve. Remember, Dane, jump float, ace the last time he was through the service line. Loyola leading by 1.
Loyola may have already done enough damage. If they could just receive serve and put the ball away, they can manufacture 2 points, and there's the first one. Wow.
Jeski out of the middle on the back row combination. Why is this play so tough to stop?
Jeski Oh, but he's just so versatile. He gives you a different look every time. It looks like he's going to blast it every time, and he has the ability at the last second to move the ball left or right. It makes it very difficult for the blocker.
Tom Logan on to serve. Loyola on an 8-2 run. Set point number 1. Oh, boy, it was right there.
Oh, he was absolutely all over it. Trevor Novotny looking good in position, but he cannot execute the dig. How about that for an opportunity?
Set point number 2 now for Loyola. And Jeff Powell back to serve. Outstanding server. Keeps this one in. Caldwell, no, off the top of the block. Doug, a chance to tie. And the ball is stuffed by Gendra.
How about that? Loyola wanted a ball handling call on that set, but they shook it off, put up a huge block, and it was their block that changed on Loyola's side that completely changed that set. This is going to turn everything around.
Loyola wins the second set, 25-23. We are tied at a set apiece. How would Loyola react after having a big lead in set 1 and having Lewis come storming back? Pretty well. Their block has really turned it up.
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco chicken is so deliciously hot, it's generating reactions from everyone.
Jalapeno wearing sunglasses, fire flame, fire flame.
Hands clapping, thumbs up.
Wendy's new jalapeno fresco, our signature spicy chicken with fresh jalapenos and ghost pepper sauce. How will you react?
When Martin Cooper invented the mobile phone in 1973,
Hello? Yeah, this is Marty. Guess what we did?
connectivity took a mighty leap forward. Staying connected is also the Mazda way. That's why the 2015 Mazda 3 uses cutting-edge technology.
Hey.
Hi. Headed home?
On my way.
To keep you seamlessly connected to the world around you and the road beneath you. This is the 2015 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
Watching football together is great, but I think women would agree. Huddling with their man after the game is nice too. The thing is, about half of men over 40 have some degree of erectile dysfunction. Well, Viagra helps guys with ED get and keep an erection. And you only take it when you need it.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
It's time to see if one shot can swing a series. It's time to believe. Game 4, Cavs Bulls at 3:30 tomorrow on ABC.
Sunday Night Baseball, Royals Tigers at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA's consent is prohibited.
The 46th NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship is being presented by Northwestern Mutual. Beautiful city of San Francisco, traveling south to Palo Alto, Maples Pavilion, Stanford University, the host, the defending champion, Loyola University Ramblers, even this match at a set apiece against Lewis. With Dane Blanton, I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks so much for joining us. Really a solid turnaround for Loyola. They smoothed things out, but they blocked the ball exceptionally well, made a lot of big plays at the end.
I was so impressed with the way they turned things around. Remember, they were having all sorts of miscommunication problems. They turned that around. They started to step it up from a blocking situation, and they played with a sense of urgency. They didn't at the beginning of the set too, but they turned it on. They knew what kind of match this was, and they could not afford to go down 2-0, and you could tell.
As we've talked about, these two teams making history, both out of the Midwest, never happened before, also playing for the 4th time, but the first ever for the national championship. As now we take a moment and pick you up at the special moment of this game, brought to you by Enterprise. There has been some superb defense at critical moments.
No question about it. Petty on Lewis has had all sorts of success, and it seems like Loyola could not figure them out. But it's not only Petty, it's Jeff Powell as well. Both seniors leading this Lewis team, and it seemed like they were basically unstoppable. Serving aces, Powell was bringing it, all sorts of emotion, but it was Loyola who was able to stop the momentum of Lewis at the end of that second set. I mean, we were thinking maybe Lewis was gonna roll Loyola, but Loyola for sure stepped up and showed some character in that second set. Now we're all set up, 1 set each.
There is the first team All-American, Jeff Powell, 10 kills on 19 swings. Through the first couple of sets, Greg Petty, 10 kills on 18 swings. The big factor, Loyola, with 10 stuff blocks. Tom Jeske off the right side as we take a look at the match stats. Through a couple of sets, Lewis doing a better job offensively, but Dane, as I mentioned, there's the big number. Those 10 blocks are a real quick equalizer.
Well, it's absolutely huge. Loyola has turned the tables on Lewis's strength. Lewis is the best blocking team in the nation, but right now, Loyola putting on the blocking clinic.
Jevis with a tap down, tweaked his ankle early on in this match in the opening set, but showing no ill effects.
When he tweaked that ankle, I thought it was going to be much more serious, and he's showed how tough he is to play through it.
Ace serve by Jeske. Loyola out quickly, 3-0 here to start the third set.
A beautiful serve like that is exactly what Loyola needs to start rolling. That's their bread and butter, going for that tough serve and getting aces.
Third ace for Loyola Chicago. And that ball hit out of bounds. 3-man block, and not a very smart swing. That time by number 9, Petty.
I'll tell you what, Petty looked absolutely invincible, unstoppable in that first set and a half. Now he's finally come back down, and we've seen him make a couple of errors.
Right side, Fitterer misses that ball out of bounds. So very uneven start to this third set for Lewis.
That's what's so beautiful about this sport, is that it is such a momentum swinging sport. And midway through that second set, you thought Lewis was just going to run away with this thing. Right now, it looks like Lewis is on the ropes.
Now left side, tight set. Broke by Selski. Low barrel for Loyola. Jevis down the line for the kill.
You don't want to let this thing get out of hand right now. Loyola up 6-0. Jevis turning it down the line, putting it away, and Lewis is in extreme trouble.
So Loyola recaptured the momentum of this match at the end of the second set, and it is obviously carried over into the third.
Hey. I was gonna order pizza and watch the game. You in?
Order pizza to your home?
Yeah.
Well, do these pizza people bring you rounds of beers, walls of television, and fried pickles?
Oh, you're at B-Dubs?
Yeah, dude, just get down here, man.
Can Ellis come?
Oh, Ellis. No Ellis, man.
Watch this.
Introducing B-Dub's Fast Break Lunch Menu with solid lunch deals for dine-in or take-out. Weekdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
So, how does your company choose how to invest clients' money?
We have developed a proprietary method based on predicting the future of the stock market.
Are you sure you don't just use your crystal ball?
The ball, it sees everything.
Can we talk about your long-term investment strategy?
Can we talk about your long-term investment strategy? You are 24 now.
32.
You betrayed me again!
Nobody can predict the future, not even that guy. Wealthfront is the best way to invest your money. Go to wealthfront.com to start investing today.
A season's journey comes down to this. Every game could be your last, so you must persevere to reach your goal and stamp your place in history. It's time to rise. The NCAA Lacrosse Championship first-round games continue Sunday at 5:15 on ESPNU, with Colgate taking on number 3 North Carolina. Then at 7:30, Marist takes on number 2 Syracuse. Very, very tough, fast sport. And speaking of the orange of Syracuse, they lead the all-time record in terms of titles with 10, their last in 2009. John Hopkins, a very renowned lacrosse program, followed by Princeton, Virginia, and North Carolina. Jeske still serving, coming out of the timeout. And Lewis in all kinds of trouble here. used a timeout to stop the bleeding here at the start of the third set. Caldwell high up into the top of the block, and Hutz unable to make the cover successfully.
Finally, Lewis gets on the board, 6-1.
What a turnaround for Loyola blocking and at the defensive end. Here's Fitterer. Out of the middle. Nick Olson, number 27 in maroon, 6'10", putting that ball away.
See how Olson gets up nice and early, gives his setter a great target to go at, and he aims deep. You don't have to hit that ball straight down. It's great to use the entire court.
Jendrick and Olson game both giving Loyola some good balance out of the middle. That was 4 kills for Olson. And there is Jendrick right on cue. Yana is keeping the ball alive, the libero for Lewis. And right back to him. Jeff Jendrick. What an impressive 6'10" freshman out of Wheaton, Illinois, second team All-American and the newcomer of the year.
Yeah, Loyola having a lot of success out of the middle. Jendrick up there on that 3, that shoot set, up nice and high. Remember, he's the newcomer of the year. Quite a player. He's going to have quite a career here at Loyola.
Olson with 4 kills. Talking about the contribution to the middles for Jendrick. That was kill number 7. Those are pretty big numbers for middles. And the big guy playing some defense, Nick Olson.
Wow.
Middle blockers don't get to dig too many balls, but this was superb.
6'10" junior. Look at him right in the slot, fearless. Basically has his helmet on in the impact zone, and he does not flinch.
Well, if you're not getting hit, you're not in the right spot. 9-1 lead for Loyola. And that ball hit out of bounds. Lewis in a world of trouble.
They really are. Schmiegelt there, hitting the ball wide. We've seen Petty have a few errors, Jeff Powell. So they're cornerstones, the guys that they rely on right now, making some unforced errors. And now the communication issue seems to be on the side of Lewis.
And a big change here. Dan Friend, the head coach for Lewis, has changed setters. Kurt Leisha, 6'6" redshirt freshman, on now wearing number 7. That ball should have been dubbed by Jeschke, and he knows it. Number 17 in maroon, the National Player of the Year. Relatively easy digging opportunity. And
sometimes those easy ones are the most difficult. Here it gets deflected. It's coming right there. Probably should have used 2 hands. I was going to say the same thing, but got a little lazy on that play. He'd love to have it back.
Feels a little bit better when you're up 10-2. He is a nice all-around player. Tom Jeschke, what a superb serve receiver as well, making life easy for Jendrick out of the middle.
And this is what it's about, staying in system. Having a pass like that, having all your hitters available, and running your offense makes it a lot easier.
A rare hitting error that time by Cody Caldwell and Loyola Chicago. You saw the hitting numbers. Loyola was absolutely dominating, and Lewis hitting negative.
It's crazy. Loyola hitting 500 to Lewis's negative 300. I guess that's how you get to 3-11.
Jendrick is dug. Fitterer off the right side and on the sideline, and boy, did Lewis need that. But remember, let's just think back as recently as the opening set when Lewis trailed Loyola Chicago 6-1 and 9-3. So maybe they got Loyola right where they want them. Perfect pass by Jeschke again, and then runs the back row combination.
You know, Paul, I completely agree with you. This set, this third set, very much like the first set, but I think Loyola learned their lesson, and there's no way that they're going to let Lewis back in, and if they do, it could mean another momentum swing and everything going back to the side of Lewis. But I don't see Loyola letting off in this third set.
Left side, Petty off the block and out of bounds. Jendrick there, number 21 in maroon, with the ball just deflected off his inside hand. Petty now with 11 kills.
You just never know when Lewis is going to get really hot and run off a bunch of points on you. So you want to continue to have this lead. Loyola looking at the score. sometimes makes you take it easy, but you want to try to expand that lead even more. They're up 5-12 right now.
Butch off the sideline, coming into serve, and Jendrick again. How impressive has he been? And give a lot of credit to Peter Hutz, the 6'4" junior setter out of Wisconsin, wearing number 2 in maroon. 9 kills for the young middle attacker.
Yeah, Hutz has been so strong. Number 2, the setter for Loyola. He just really composed, and that's the type of leader you want as your quarterback. Someone who's patient, composed, and knows how to get the ball to these big hitters.
Jendrick misses that jump float out of bounds, and with that point possession back to Lewis with a very comfortable lead for Loyola, 13-6 here in the third. Loyola, the defending national champions, beat Stanford 3-1 on their home floor last year. Lewis into the finals for the very first time. 6th NCAA appearance for the Lewis Flyers, 3 out of the last 4 years. Perfect pass by Caldwell, and Olsen with a tap down out of the middle.
Nice tap down right there. But once again, it looks like this ball could be dug, but this little one-hand stab, that's not how you play defense, and you can miss opportunities. You just never know when a play could really turn things around. You got to get that ball up in the air.
Hutz back to serve. Loyola's been very impressive after an inefficient start in terms of the first ball side out. It all starts with good passing. Kill off the left side by Petty. Boy, this has been like a roller coaster ride for these teams, what they've done in the first set compared to the second, into the third. I mean, back and forth, 2 teams that know one another exceptionally well, again, playing for the 4th time this year. Lewis leading the series, 2 wins to 1 for Loyola.
You look at those hitting percentages,
wow.
They're absolutely trending opposite. Loyola's trending upward, and Lewis, their hitting percentage trending downward, and that's really how this match has gone. But it really hinged on set number 2, right in the middle. It could have went either way, and Loyola just grabbed the reins.
And what you want is consistency, and you're not getting that from either of these teams. Caldwell, high flat shot, looking for the touch. None called, a hitting error for Cody Caldwell. And so Lewis now trailing 15-8.
And remember, this is the 4th time that these 2 teams have met this year. That's never happened in the history. Of course, Lewis won the first 2 in season, and then Loyola won the MIVA championship, so it's dead even.
Tom Logan on to serve, working on Caldwell. On the combination, no answer for that. Jeschke with another kill. Jeschke now with 9.
Jeschke coming out of the back row. The thing is right now that Loyola seems to have a much more varied offense. They have so many weapons, and it seems to be confusing Lewis's blocking scheme, and they really haven't been able to show that blocking showcase that they've done so well. Remember, in the semifinals, they outblocked Penn State 18-6. So they have not been able to have that kind of dominance here against Loyola.
Chilcote on to serve once again. Boy, that back row quick combination. Unforced error into the top of the tape. Jeschke, any number of kills out of the middle back position. He's got to take off behind the 10-foot line, and he's hitting it from about 5 feet from the net. Unforced error by Lewis. They continue to struggle here in the third. A very concerned head coach, Dan Friend. Timeout. Lewis, Loyola leading by 9.
Are you being audited, and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a tax doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
After a hot start by the #1 seed, the Lewis Flyers, they have been turned aside by the Loyola Chicago defense and blocking. In the first set, Lewis hit .522. Second set, 152. So far here in the third, minus 062. And yes, you can hit minus. That's when you have more errors than kills. So the question for you, Dane, you know, still a long way to go, but Lewis has got to get back into this match. And the question is, how do they do it?
Well, this set might be a loss already, but you have to use it to get back on track. You can't just throw this one away and think that you're going to start off in set number 4 on fire. You have to work your way back into playing really high-level volleyball, and they have to be positive, play with a sense of urgency, and play the volleyball that they're capable of playing, because we know what they're able to do. They just have to start doing it, and they haven't been able to because Loyola has taken them out of their schemes.
Powell with a kill down the line. He now has a dozen. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest differences for me, Loyola getting all kinds of production offensively out of their middles, and Lewis is getting virtually none. And that, to me, is all about first ball contact and quality reception. The middles for Loyola have been superb, combining now for 11, 12 kills.
And when you establish that middle, it really opens up the pins. So and that's what Loyola's been able to do. Stay in system, establish the middle, open up the pins, and it just looks like there's so many weapons coming at you. If you're Lewis looking across the net, Loyola has so many weapons, not one-dimensional by any means.
A little bit of an unnecessary and unfortunate delay here over at the scorer's table. I tell you, if you're the Loyola fans or the Loyola team or their head coach Shane Davis, you want to keep this rolling on. They're leading 17-9. Another perfect pass. Jevis ripping into the cross court. But as you so rightly pointed out, because of the success in the middle, Jevis found himself one-on-one.
Yeah, when you have success in the middle, look, that middle has to commit, and then Jevis one-on-one. And he completely wins that battle with Powell because of his height.
Well, the game is pretty easy when you're passing the ball on target time and time again. That ball just served over the sideline. Trevor Novotny coming on for Loyola Chicago as a serving specialist. And the young opposite will come back on. Powell can run some points. With a superb dig for Lewis, but they got to convert. Did Powell get a touch? Yes, he did. Excellent high flat swing over the top of the block.
That's what makes Powell so great. It looks like there's just absolutely nowhere to go, and he somehow manufactures the kill by going high off the block.
Kill number 13. Out of the middle, Jendrick again.
And Lewis is going to have to start respecting Jendrick and really committing on him. He's had so much success, but they keep feeding him, and he keeps putting that ball on the floor.
Cody Caldwell, the first really big recruit, and he sort of started the domino. The top players going to Loyola Chicago that have bred the success, a chance for 2 straight national championships. Good touch on the block. Caldwell and an excellent read by Peter Hutch. But wow. Cody Caldwell passing the ball right on target to the top of the net.
Yeah, and he was able to make that pass, a triple block by Loyola, and they just tip it perfectly. So Caldwell puts it up in perfect position. Loyola in system to get another point.
Headed off the left side, one-on-one. Good touch that time by Hutch. Fitterer rolling. Geschke again against 3 blockers. Powell is all over that defensive. And Petty off the edge of the block and down. Excellent transition swing. And good play by both teams, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, nice rally by both teams. Both teams really going for it here, making sure that they keep that in play until they have that opportunity to get a kill. And Lewis, it gets that point.
There you go. That serve handled very easily. And on the combination play, out of the backcourt, Cody Caldwell again. Caldwell, 6'6" senior out of Newport Beach, California. Honorable mention All-American this year. Most valuable player in the national championship last year, bothered by an abdominal strain much of this season. Jacob Kroner on the serve now for Loyola. Oh, that ball's got to come up. Timing not there.
Yeah, it's interesting that for Lewis, Scott Pfeiffer back in there. You know you're in trouble when you have to switch out that setter. And that's the last position you want to mess around with, but sometimes it's necessary.
Fitterer back to serve. Oh, misplayed out of the middle. That is really a bad play by Lewis. We'll see if they can score off it anyway. Petty off the top of the block. Quick set to the outside, and they knew not. So Bobby Walsh, number 15 in white for Lewis. A ball right on top of the net that he should have put away at the beginning of this rally, and it cost Lewis in the end.
It really does. Olsen getting a huge block right there. Look, up, over, targeting it back into the court so he doesn't get tooled. Perfect blocking exhibition right there by Olsen.
Balance for Loyola. Not for Lewis. I'll give you the... Oh, look at that block. Ricky Jevis again, one-on-one against Petty. And now Loyola just 2 points away from the 2-1 lead.
Well, this was unheard of early on. It was Petty that was just having his way with Loyola's defense. Now things have changed. Jevis with a beautiful block.
12 blocks for Jevis and Loyola, only 6 for Lewis. That's something that you would have expected to be the other way around in Lewis's favor. Combination play, Caldwell missed it out of bounds. So we talked about the balance, Dane, for Loyola. On the other side for Lewis, Petty with 13 kills, fine. Powell, 13, fine. But the rest of the team, only 10.
You have to have balance because both these coaches are so good and they know to tell their players to hone in on who's hot to slow them down. And right now, Lewis continues to go to their two big guns, but Loyola has had answers.
Jeske into the deep cross-court corner after a magnificent pass by Jake Shelsky, the 5'11" freshman out of Cary, Illinois. In the white jersey back there, he's the man who made that play possible. Set point number 1 for Loyola. Loyola has dominated this third set. They got out to a 6-0, 9-1 lead. That ball ripped through the block that time by Fitterer. Touch off the block, so 1 set point save. So I agree with you, Dane. I asked you a while ago. Lewis was down big. Certainly this set was 99% gone, but they've got to find some rhythm and some confidence. Get back in this thing. Here's Walsh. Set point number 2. And that'll do it. And the balance and the effectiveness of the middle attackers, Nicholas Olsen, along with Jeff Jendrick, have led Loyola, the defending national champions, the Ramblers, to a 2-1 lead. They dropped the first set, they won the second 25-23, and easily won the third 25-15. Now the pressure on Lewis. 4th meeting, they've won the season series so far, but now can they get back and forth with this set?
Keep People are going crazy for these one-day fantasy baseball leagues at FanDuel.
On FanDuel, I've won over $62,000.
Fantasy baseball on FanDuel is easy. Just choose a league, pick your team, and get your cash winnings the next day.
There's $1 games, there's $2 games.
Each player has a different value. You can click on that player and insert them right into your lineup.
Try FanDuel today, and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $200.
With FanDuel, you get your winnings right away.
Go to FanDuel.com, click on the microphone to get a bonus of up to $200. Enter promo code SCORE.
What's this? A box. It takes worn out things and makes them better.
It's our biggest breakthrough yet. We're taking worn-out batteries and making them into something strong. Energizer Eco Advanced, world's first long-lasting battery made with 4% recycled batteries.
Appears Buster's been busy.
Yeah, Scott. I was just about to use...
I've got a much better idea, lad. Scott's Easy Seed uses a fine seed, fertilizer, and natural mulch that holds water so you can grow grass anywhere. Looking good, lad.
Thanks, Scott. Easy Seed really works. So, how come Haggis is so well behaved?
Because he's a Scotty. Oh. Get Scott's Easy Seed. It's guaranteed. Seed your lawn. Seed it.
Discover nature. Okay.
I did.
Nice.
It's on us to stop sexual assault. In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all. It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault. Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Back once again at Stanford University and Maples Pavilion. The NCAA Volleyball Championships presented by Northwestern Mutual. Lewis won the opening set. And back with Dane Blanton, I'm Paul Sunderland. And Dane, you said it. Midway through the second set, it almost felt like Lewis was really going to take control of this match. Boy, Loyola came storming back. They did most of it with good serve reception and blocking, and then they absolutely dominated in the third set.
Well, they really did steal that second set. They showed a lot of character by coming back, winning the second set, and then rolling that right into the third set. Their body language changed. They started using a lot of positive body language. They were celebrating their successes, and most importantly, they started using their middle hitters, which opened up the pins, as we mentioned earlier, and their diversified attack has given Lewis all sorts of problems. They just are playing catch-up the whole time.
Jeschke, along with Jendrick, are giving tremendous balance for Shane Davis and the Loyola Ramblers as they now have the 2-1 advantage. Jeschke at the service line. He set the tone early on as the Ramblers got out to a 6-0, 9-1, and then 17-8 lead.
And Jeff Jendrick, the newcomer of the year, national newcomer of the year, just a freshman, 10 kills. He's been money out of the middle, putting that ball down at will, giving Lewis all sorts of problems.
Very unusual that you will see in a match where the serving is so tough that a middle attacker, Jeff Jendrick, the freshman, has as many kills as Thomas Jeschke, but that just goes to show you how well Loyola is passing the ball, and their setter, Peter Hutz, has done a fantastic job so far. Now the pressure on Lewis. First time ever playing for the national championship. And an unforced error out of the middle by Nick Olson. A rare mistake for Loyola over the last set and a half.
Yeah, if you're Dan Friend, who's the MEVA Coach of the Year, the National AVCA Coach of the Year, you really told your athletes that you need to put that last set behind. You need to come out here, jump on Loyola immediately, and definitely not get in a hole, but celebrate your successes.
Tough swing off the right side. Very good job by number 14, Eric Fitterer, the 6'8" senior out of Edwardsville, Illinois, off the inside hand of the middle blocker for Loyola.
Beautiful set in the back row. Coming up there, Fitterer putting it away. And this is the exact type of start that Lewis wants to get. Because remember, last set, it was Loyola that completely ran away with things.
Loyola out of system. Oh, very bad ball handling. And a surprise by Powell, the All-American. A relatively easy chance, and you're much better off just digging that ball to the 10-foot line.
Yeah, it's always better to be a few feet off the net than to overpass. And Powell would love to have that one back.
Olsen now going to go with a jump floater. Tough jump floater. At 6'10", he can almost serve down into the court. Back row combination, timing not there, but neither is the defense for Lewis. This one missed by their setter, number 27 in white, Scott Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Pfeiffer put up a great set there early. This one looked like he could have dug it up, but a miscommunication, goes with one arm, and that ball falls once again. If you're Loyola right now, you have that luxury being up 2-1. If you're Lewis, a lot of pressure right here. You do not want to have a close one. You'd like to build a bit of a lead.
Still nothing into the middle, and Petty with a big kill into the cross court. See, to me, when I look at this, it's all about, can Lewis serve tough enough to get Loyola off the net? If so, they can get back in this match.
And this is the Petty that we saw earlier. Big bang hit with a little attitude right there. Gives a little look through the net. Maybe he's back.
Kill number 14. Lewis has got to start doing some damage from the service line. And they do. Ace serve for Fitterer.
Fitterer serving the seam. That's where you want to go. And that's what Coach Dan Friend told us. They don't serve anyone in particular. They try to serve certain areas and execute, and that's exactly what Fitterer did on that one.
Fourth service ace for Lewis. But the first in a long time. And their first lead in quite a while. Perfect pass by Caldwell.
Wow.
And exactly, Dane. Wow. What a pass to start with. And then Jendrick just ripping out of the middle.
That was beautiful by Cody Caldwell. Just the platform out there. The setter does not have to move. Keeps Loyola in perfect system, and you see the result.
And Jefferson missed that serve out of bounds. Lewis 27-3 on the year. Loyola of Chicago 27-2. Loyola, as we mentioned, if you're just joining us, the defending national champions. They beat Stanford in Chicago last year, 3-1. For Dan Friend and Lewis, their first ever appearance in the national championship match, 6th time in the NCAA tournament, and 3 out of the last 4. Petty on the bad toss, but if you're wondering, you can't catch it. You toss it, you got to serve it. It's one of the rules of the game.
Yeah, and I like that rule. It puts a premium on that toss, and a low toss, he should have just tried to get that one in, but it fell too quickly.
12th service error.
There's a perfect example of never taking your eye off the ball. As you see right there, Scott Pfeiffer was ready for that ball to be passed, but it clips the target. Look at his eyes. He takes his eyes off, expects it to be passed, and it's right there behind him. Difficult play. Doesn't happen often.
No eyes in the back of your head. Fitterer ripping the ball through the block and down. That's a great point. You know, it happens so infrequently, but what if it's for national championship point? And for you young setters out there, eye on the ball, one of the basic fundamentals. Great point. Walsh, who's been very quiet, one of the nation's best blockers. Back row combination, dug by Fitterer. Smart shot into the block to reset the point. Selski with a magnificent dig to libero for Loyola Chicago. And smart shot selection by Powell.
You got to give a lot of credit, as you said, smart shot by Pfeiffer. Just keeping that ball alive, patience, composure, and then wait till you have a nice opportunity to get a kill, and that's exactly what Pfeiffer did for Lewis.
Lewis now on top 7-5, trailing 2-1. Out of the middle again.
Jendrick with that quick arm, that quick put away. Even if you're honed in, even if you're committing, that's very difficult to stop when a guy like Jendrick's coming in at 6'10".
Jindrak back to serve, now with a new career-high total in terms of kills. Not a bad place to do it for the nation's outstanding freshman. That ball tucked down inside that time by Jacob Schmigel.
Yeah, that's all you can really ask for if you're an athlete. You want to win, of course, but if you can save your best match for the national championship and really play to your potential, that's what it's all about.
Here's fight for the setter for Lewis. Jeschke on the very quick blow. Dug by Yanez off the scoreboard. The ball stays on your side. It's a legal play, but a net violation is going to be called against Schmigel.
Yeah, that's a very good call right there. As soon as the ball hits the upper lighting in the middle, it cannot travel over the net. It has to stay on your side of the net for it to continue to be live. That ball hit the lighting up above and then was on its way over the net. So great call.
And clearly the net violation, no doubt about it there. Good soft block by Olsen. And Jeschke is stuffed on the outside. The two All-Americans going head-to-head, and this time Powell, number 13 in white, getting the better of it.
Here you see Jeschke get off the net, try to battle against three huge blockers, and he loses that one.
Back row combination, and Caldwell right on the end line. Boy, the Lewis bench did not like that call. Kill number 7 for Caldwell. Dan Friend patrolling the sideline, another look.
I really like how they're using Cody Caldwell right now. Oh, I thought that was it.
And Caldwell on the overpass. Reception error. And now tied at 9.
Caldwell starting to heat up right here after that nice kill last time. He gets this overpass, and he is absolutely waiting for it.
Powell will track that down, but the service winner here for Jeschke and Loyola.
You just never know when Loyola can strike. Remember how good a serving team they are. And remember, Jeschke is the national server of the year, so he's extremely dangerous.
Timeout called by Lewis. Jeschke and Loyola now with the lead. Most importantly, 2-1. But here in the fourth, now on top, 10-9.
Fruit with a cool finish. Fruit on one side, cool on the other. Icebreakers Duo, a fruity cool way to break the ice.
Keep the whole gang happy with endless baby back ribs from Golden Corral. Dinner's just $11.99. Unlimited baby back ribs with KC Masterpiece barbecue sauce, original hickory brown sugar, or smoky chipotle. Golden Corral, the best buffet in the USA.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
The NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. You and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together.
Men's NCAA Volleyball Championships, the 46th edition. This tournament began officially back in 1970 with NCAA and Olympic champion Dane Blanton on Paul Sunderland. And Loyola leading 2-1 and now 10-9 here in the fourth. Loyola looking to go back-to-back. And Jeschke back to serve once again. Jeves is stuffed on the right side. Schmigel, number 22 in white, with a stuff block for Lewis.
And that's what Lewis needs. They need to start shining in that blocking category a little bit more. It's been Loyola who's had the upper hand, but Schmigel looking good right there.
Lewis, statistically the best blocking team in the country, averaging 3.4 blocks per set. But it has been Loyola that has been doing a better job.
But how about that one-on-one by Bobby Walsh? Look out.
Bobby Walsh, best blocker around. Look at him get up, discipline, wait, read, and then penetrate. A huge block. This is like two heavyweights going back and forth.
And Olsen, the middle attacker for Loyola, knew it was coming back his way. Just seen it turn his face away. He didn't want to get stuffed and get a facial at the same time. Well again, ball set pretty tight. Smart shot into the block. Petty, high, flat shot by number 9 in white. And here comes Lewis once again. 15 kills for Petty. We'll step aside with that kill. Back and forth we go. It looked like Loyola had recaptured the momentum, but now Lewis on top once again by 2.
Does your car suffer from cataracts? You heard right, cataracts. You know, those aging, foggy headlights. Well, we have the cure. Wipe new Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in seconds and guaranteed to pass inspection as long as you own your car or truck. We detailed this old Mercedes. It looks fantastic, except for those foggy, ugly headlights. Now watch Wipe New Headlight Restore do its job.
It's so easy to use, and it looks amazing.
So before you go and spend hundreds on replacement lights, protect your lenses for life. Order Wipe New Headlight Restore for just $9.99. Call right now and we'll double your order. That's 2, 1 for each car. You get 2 Wipe New Headlight Restore kits for just $9.99. Call now. Wipe New, keeping your world like new.
Easy to use Wipe New Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in just seconds. The last time you'll have to restore your headlights. Call 1-800-551-6780. Order now.
The NCAA Lacrosse Championship first round games continue Sunday starting at 1 p.m. on ESPNU with John Hopkins taking on number 7 Virginia, and then at 3 p.m. Brown takes on number 4 Denver. Past champions in the lacrosse tournament, Duke in 2013 and 14, Loyola of Maryland, not of Chicago, Virginia Duke, a very East Coast flair to the lacrosse championships. Of course, Syracuse, an outstanding program as well with 10 total titles, their last back in 2009. Out of the timeout, Schmiegelt will go back to serve, Lewis leading 12-10. Petty again down the line, beautiful dig by Hutz. Got to keep that ball off the net. Oh, that's off the net. Anything goes on the first contact. Down the line, dug by Hutz again. Right side on the combination play and slapped to the floor by number 14, the opposite, Eric Fitterer.
Fitterer got up, and you can open hand it indoor. Nice wide hand, quick down. He opts not to hit. A nice shot, very powerful and very smart by Fitterer.
That was borderline within the rules. That was definitely a slam dink. Right side off the block and out of bounds. Jevis doing a little trash talking to the block of Lewis.
Yeah, I've seen a little of that. I just saw it out of Jevis, and earlier I saw Greg Petty with a little stare down through the net. You gotta like that, a little chippiness. These teams play each other quite a bit. A lot of pride on the line here. Of course, hunger to win that title.
Combination play, Doug again, really playing some good defense. Covered by Yanez, the libero. Back to Petty again, off the block and out of bounds. And he yells at Jevis. Things are heating up. These two teams are sick of one another, playing for the 4th time. They competed for the regular Midwest Intercollegiate Volleyball Association title, regular season title. They played for the championship in the postseason. Loyola won that, and meeting one another for the 4th time.
I mean, Loyola, the only team that they've lost to is this Lewis squad. So you better believe that there are emotions on the line.
That ball ripped by Jeschke on the back row combination. Perfect timing and location on the set by Hutz.
Hutz has been really impressive. His patience, his composure, and his defense. He's not afraid to get in that impact zone, digging balls off his chest, whatever it takes.
Good serve down the line. Going to be a free ball opportunity. Or an easy, oh boy, take that away. What a swing that time by Powell. I thought it was going to be an easy down ball, a free ball opportunity, but don't say that to number 13, the All-American in white. What a swing.
Powell has all sorts of experience. He started here as a freshman. He's been a leader, and look at that emotion. I love the emotion that he shows after the success. That can really bring your team up, get them fired up, and sometimes it accounts for a few more points.
15 kills now for Powell. Petty right there as well with 14. Caldwell one-on-one, good play out of the middle. Middle blocker, Walsh getting his hands on that to keep it alive for Lewis. Big momentum swing. Powell again. Not this time. Stuffed by Jendrick.
Jendrick with a little emotion of his own after that nice stuff block, but a great rally on both sides of the net. It's Loyola with a big block who puts it down to end that rally. But wow, these teams are absolutely going at it.
Lewis leading by 2. Caldwell back at the line. The senior, his last match for Loyola Chicago. Trying to make it 2 NCAA championships in a row. Back row combination, and Petty sprays it long. So back-to-back points for Loyola.
Petty plenty high on there, but he just misses the contact, gets backspin on the ball rather than that top spin, and it floats just long.
Powell again, down the line and out of bounds. So back-to-back hitting errors for Lewis.
A little bit low of a set right there for Powell. Tries to salvage it, but he just can't find the court.
Cannot hit the ball out of bounds. Cannot. Throw the ball into the block. Restart the point. That ball is dug, but can't be controlled by Jevis. And give the kill to Lewis, restoring order just a little bit, leading 16-15.
As this set kind of gets to the end, the pressure mounts more for Lewis. Remember, Loyola has that cushion of being up 1 set. Of course, they do not want to go 5 if they can prevent it. This is tight.
Oh, good high flat shot by Jeschke once again, but as this match has gone on, I'm noticing that Loyola getting a little more conservative on good passes, not as many sets to the middle, Dane.
You're absolutely right. Sometimes you get pattern and you're not even aware of that. The fact that you're not setting that middle, which has gotten you so much success up to this point.
Jeschke now with 18 kills. Miguel into the block, ball is up. What a cover by Yanez. And wow, what a play defensively. You cannot win without a first-class libero. And Lucas Yanez out of Burbank, California. Watch this maybe match-saving play.
So beautiful, the pancake. He just absolutely lays it out on the line, and then Loyola can't get that ball over the net. That's why Lucas Yanez is a second-team All-American.
Jevis, is there a touch? No touch detected, and now the lead is 18-16. So Lewis and Loyola exchanging under this kind of championship pressure, unforced hitting errors. Back with Dane Blanton, and Dane Blanton, of course, known very well for winning an Olympic gold medal back in 2000 with Eric Fonoy-Moan in the beautiful city of Sydney, also an NCAA champion in 1992. But now you're spreading things out a little bit. I mean, sand volleyball is becoming a huge sport on the women's side. And you won a national championship as an assistant coach for USC, so congratulations for that big moment.
Thanks so much. It was obviously the girls that did it. It was an impressive performance by USC. They went 28-0, if you can believe it. There's a look at Meg Norton, Eve Edinger. There's Alexa Strange and her partner, Sophie Vukovic. But they played Long Beach in the final. This was in Gulf Shores, Alabama. It was Vukovic and Strange winning the first time, then Bria Russ and Jenna Belton, and then finally Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clay sealing the deal. Head coach Anna Collier getting not the Gatorade shower, but the water shower, and then a nice dip in the Gulf waters for the victory. It was exhilarating.
Where were you with the shower? I guess if you're an Olympic gold medalist, you don't get dumped on. You don't get. Look at this. 15 schools for sand volleyball back in 2013. 49 it has grown to in 2015. The first ever official NCAA championship will be held next year.
Yeah, it's going to be really impressive. Of course, Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes won the pairs ABCA National Championship. So SC basically ran the table this year. So impressive. Anytime you're playing in a national championship game, it's so much fun, just like seeing these guys go at it right now.
Well, congratulations to you and the Trojans. And, oh boy, not great wood that time by Olsen, but just inside the end line. Lewis leading 18-17. Loyola on top, 2-1. Olsen now with 7 kills.
I'll tell you what, you take whatever you can get at this point. The miss hits, whatever goes in, you'll take it.
On the sideline, Schmiegel. I'll tell you, Shane Davis of Loyola doesn't like that call, but nothing you can do about it now. Loyola getting more conservative with their set location and selection, and also with their serving. Here's Powell.
As you mentioned, I'd like to see Loyola go back to the middle and do it right now.
A miss serve there for Powell.
Powell extremely dynamic, and what makes him so good is he's so versatile. He can play in the backcourt, he can do it all, and such a leader for this Lewis squad.
Right side, ball set tight. What a quick swing by Fitterer off the edges of the block that time. Beautiful swing by number 14 in white.
Well, really smart. Instead of burying it cross court and possibly getting blocked, he knows where the block is. He goes high off the hands of Cody Caldwell and gets the point for Lewis.
Serve missed badly, so back-to-back service errors, this time by Schmiegel and prior to that by Powell. Schmiegel will go to the sideline, giving way. In NCAA men's volleyball, they play by international rules. 6 substitutions, the middle blockers serve, play defense once, and then are replaced by the libero. Women's rules decidedly different with a plethora of substitutions. Right side, not a good set. And that ball stuffed by Fitterer. That ball drifting back off the net that time.
That could be a huge turning point right here. Loyola finally tying things up. And if you think about it, Loyola just 5 points away from winning their second national championship.
So Lewis has led by a couple here in the latter stages of this all-important 4th set for Lewis, and now tied at 20 apiece. If you're just joining us, Lewis won the opening set 25-21 after trailing early, and then Loyola Chicago won the 2nd and 3rd set. The 3rd set they won very easily, 25-15, and here we are tied at 20. Well, we've got a moment. Remind you that the NCAA Lacrosse Championship first round games continue Sunday at 5:15 on ESPNU, with Colgate taking on number 3 North Carolina. Then at 7:30, it's Marist as they take on number 2 Syracuse. You're watching the 46th Men's NCAA Volleyball Championship, presented by Northwestern Mutual with Dane Blanton. I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks so much for joining us. Lewis at 27-3, Loyola at 27-2. Loyola advanced into this championship match with an easy 3-0 victory over University of California, Irvine, while Lewis was extracting some revenge over the Penn State Nittany Lions, the team that knocked them out last year. The kill leaders said Jaeschke had 16 moments ago. That is officially correct with 14, but that's the big number. Jendrick, the middle blocker, with a dozen kills, a new career high, but he's been on 12 for a while.
He really has. And you mentioned it earlier, Loyola has kind of gone away from the middle a little bit as opposed to what they did in the end of set 2 and majority of set 3.
Off the block, nice stab that time by Coldwell. What a play by Yanez again off the inside of the block. Both teams playing superb defense. Powell, cross court, wrist away and out of bounds. Wow, that was really close to the sideline. Yanez again, Lucas Yanez, spectacular dig here.
Yanez getting it up in the air, and Lewis not happy about the way this ended. It looked like it was so close that Jeff Powell hit down the line, but it's out of bounds.
Working on Petty. Yeah, through the block and down for number 9 and White. Petty now with 17 kills, leading the way for Lewis.
Yeah, Petty having a great match. He finds the seam right between the pin blocker and the middle blocker before they can converge and seal it up. So smart play there by Petty.
Remember, first 4 sets to 25, must win by 2. If we go to the 5th set tiebreaker, it's played to 15. Fitterer. Oh, the tip falls. Wow, what a huge play. 4 defenders there for Lewis, and nobody went after the ball.
A cagey play, a gutsy play by Cody Caldwell, but he's been here before. He knows what it takes, and he's got the guts to bust out a shot like that.
Petty again. Very little doubt where this ball is going to in crunch time for the Lewis Flyers.
Well, that's the Petty that we know, the aggressive, the big hit, the look through the net. We didn't see that much in the 3rd set. Can he turn it up here at the end of the 4th?
Big opportunity here for Petty from the service line. And again, Loyola has been reticent to set the ball in the middle. There's another perfect pass. There's finally the quick attack once again by Jendrick.
Beautiful pass, and maybe, you know, Loyola hasn't been going to that middle because the pass not in system quite as often, but that one is right on point. Every offensive option available.
Here's Caldwell, Loyola 2 points away. Powell on the sky dink. Right on the sideline, tied at 23.
That was really pretty out of Powell. Had his shoulders perpendicular to the net, goes up huge and just kind of a reverse dink. A no look. Really nice play by Powell.
Little blocker, Bobby Walsh back to serve. Their best blocker now in the back row. Jaeschke. And off of Walsh and out of bounds. Jaeschke with a magnificent quick swing on the outside, and that gets Loyola to match point and championship point. And the freshman, Jeff Jendrick, back at the service line. Got a good jump floater. Out of the middle, off the block and down. 1 championship point saved by Lewis. Tied at 24.
So much pressure. When you get to that championship point, your heart starts beating a little faster because you know you are so close.
This is when you got to execute. This is when you have to be disciplined. Remember the game plan. Dug by Petty. Jaeschke off the block and out of bounds.
Jaeschke's really come up with some huge kills here late. The last one deflecting off the defender up into the crowd. This one deflecting off the blockers for the point.
NCAA championship point number 2. Right side to Powell, and he tucks it inside of Jeschke one-on-one.
Powell step close so fast, gets up in the air, quick arm swing, gets that ball. Not a lot of velocity on that, but the quickness is what makes him so effective on that play.
Tied once again. Jevis is stuffed on the outside by Fitterer with some help from Schmiga. And now set point for Lewis. And the first referee is going to have a little conversation about some of the trash talking. It hadn't been awful. Just a little bit here and there, but a good job by the first referee.
Yeah, wants to keep it in control. I really like that. I like seeing that. I like the emotion.
Yeah, nothing's been over the top.
No, not at all.
Set point now for Lewis to even this match at 2 sets apiece. Ace serve by Powell.
Wow, Powell really coming in with fire. After he got that ace, looked like he almost hurt himself with that celebration. Unbelievable.
Lewis fights off 2 championship points, and their All-American Jeff Powell with the ace. We're playing 5.
Whoa, mister, what is that?
The patio and everything on it's filthy, so I'm giving it all a good cleaning.
But that stuff can do a number on our grass and plants.
Ah, but this is Scott's new outdoor cleaner powered by OxyClean. It's chlorine bleach-free, so it's safe to use around grass and plants and makes quick work of cleaning outdoor dirt and mildew stains. Looks great, doesn't it?
Aye, great.
Is that how I sound? Get Scott's new outdoor cleaner plus OxyClean. Clean your outdoor space. Clean it.
Strong. It comes from a place where raw strength is just a starting point. Where doing something means doing it right. Where unrivaled dependability is backed by the strongest warranty in the business. And the only job is a job well done. Welcome to Strongsville. Experience Cub Cadet Strong with the new XT Enduro Series. Find exceptional financing and a dealer near you.
Here's critically important news for small business owners. Financing is now available in as little as 3 days. Trusted national lender Rapid Advance understands that small businesses need working capital to seize opportunities. That's why tens of thousands of small businesses have found the funding they need to grow with Rapid Advance. Rapid Advance provides financing up to $500,000. Approvals take as little as 1 day, and funds are available in as little as 3 days. If you've been in business for at least 1 year, visit rapidadvance.com today.
Hey, Banks, have a seat and let me make you uncomfortable. Up those grades, son, or the only position you'll be playing in college is sitting on me. You're still awake? Have a seat on old Mr. Bench. At least your buns will fall asleep.
Is this the one about the high school hotshot who gets benched in college?
Hey, man, T, move down.
It's a tearjerker!
Well, that's what they're going to be playing for in this all-important 15-point tiebreaker. Loyola and Lewis playing for the 4th time, and we're going to play 5 sets between these 2 teams for the very first time. How did Lewis overcome, after being really overwhelmed in the 3rd set, 25-15, to get back, fight their way into the tiebreaker?
Well, I was a little concerned for Lewis because it seemed like they were playing very mellow. And then they started putting the emotion, and that was led by Jeff Powell. He started to bring it at the end of that 4th set. They took the momentum away from Loyola, and they look like they just wanted that fourth set a little bit more than Loyola did. And so now it's down to the fifth set. And Paul, we spoke about this before the match. We thought that this thing would go 5.
Yeah, two very evenly matched teams. Again, the fourth meeting, all of the other previous meetings, the other 3, 2 of those won by Lewis, but all of them decided in 4 sets. To give you some of the key numbers, Greg Petty, 18 kills. Jeff Powell, 17 kills. Jendrick, we've talked about, a new career high 13, the outstanding freshman. Jeschke leading the way, the National Player of the Year with 16 kills on 35 swings. And through 4 sets, Loyola hitting 256 and Lewis hitting 248. Can't get much closer than that, but I think Loyola has got to get back to setting their middles. See the 5-set records for these teams respectively. And we are underway in the 5th set. Only change, there are a couple. Play to 15, that's the most important. Each team gets 2 timeouts, but also the teams, and I don't know why they still do this. Why are we changing sides at 8? I mean, you know, why are we doing that? The lighting's pretty good, the building's nice, no reason for it. But just sort of a holdover.
Yeah, you know, and I actually like it because it makes it completely even. As a passer, some gyms are different. You know, sometimes you're passing against a nice backdrop of a curtain. In here, it's very equal, but by having that switch at 8, it makes it completely equal on both sides of the net.
You've convinced me. I'm buying it. I'm buying it, at least for now. I want to remind everybody out there that's looking for college softball, number 1 Oregon and number 18 Arizona. That game can be seen right now on ESPN News, and we'll be switching over as soon as this championship is decided. Ace serve. The 4th set ended on a serve by Powell. And here is number 22, Jacob Schmiegel.
He puts a little on this ball, a little topspin, but it's got some float to it, and it gives Jeschke a lot of trouble. Looked like he followed it all the way to his arms to pass it, but he just shanked it.
6th ace for Lewis. And that ball up off the scoreboard, which is above the legally required limit, onto the side of Lewis. So yet another point for the Lewis Flyers, now on top 3-2. There you get a good look at it. It does happen sometimes, not very often. Schmiegelt again. Service ace, service winner. Early momentum for Lewis. Petty on the outside.
Oh, when Petty's fired up like that, you better look out right now. They are feeling it on the side of Lewis.
Early quick timeout called by the defending champions, Greg Petty, and Lewis out early, leading 4-2.
Strong. It comes from a place where raw strength is just a starting point. Where doing something means doing it right. Where unrivaled dependability is backed by the strongest warranty in the business. And the only job is a job well done. Welcome to Strongsville. Experience Cub Cadet Strong with the new XT Enduro Series. Find exceptional financing and a dealer near you.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. Call the number on your screen right now to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I want to remind once again that the NCAA Lacrosse Championship first-round games continue Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. on ESPNU with John Hopkins as they take on number 7, the Virginia Cavaliers. And then at 3 p.m., Brown takes on number 4, Denver. That is the Lacrosse Championships presented by Northwest Mutual. Back with Dane Blanton. I'm Paul Sundman. Thanks for joining us. And we have gone 5. Lewis won the opening set 25-21. Loyola of Chicago, the defending champions, won the second, third set. They won the third set very easily. Loyola had a couple of championship points in set number 4, could not put the ball away. Jeff Powell, the All-American, with a service ace. They win it for Lewis 27-25. And here we are in the 5th set tiebreaker. ball is in. Boy, a missed opportunity. Dig the ball off the net.
Yeah, a lot of players in the defensive slot like to push that ball up to the net when they make a defensive play. But you don't have to push it so close. It's better if it's 5-10 feet off the net because you can't afford to overpass it.
That was a big opportunity missed for Lewis. Stuffed out of the middle, very good cover. And the block, into the block and out of bounds, and everything going Greg Petty's way right now.
Well, Paul, I'll tell you what, you know, coaching this year with SC, I learned to tell the players, bring your emotion, bring your fire. Right now, Lewis is the emotional team. They're celebrating their successes, and it's really giving them all the momentum in the world.
Petty now tying a season high with his 20th kill. Here's Fitterer. Out of the middle once again. Jendrick. 14 kills for the outstanding freshman middle blocker.
I'll tell you what, Jeff Jendrick has really played like a mature college player. You would never think that this guy's a freshman.
Tough serve, kept alive by Yanez. The barrel from Lewis has been spectacular. Jevis misses it out of bounds.
What a set by Cody Caldwell, right in the wheelhouse of Jevis. And Jevis just could not handle it. Look at Giannis, just making some great defensive plays, always keeping it in play for his team, giving Lewis second and third opportunities.
He's got wonderful instincts. He's made a couple of digs where he had no business being where he was, and he came up with a big play defensively. Petty with a missed serve. Lewis still leading 6-5. Cody Caldwell will go back to serve once again. Ace serve by the senior.
You know, that serve was all about placement. He took a little bit off it, curved it. It died right in front of Petty. He couldn't get underneath it and get it up in the air. Point Loyola.
Look at this service story. 6 aces for Loyola, only 8 errors. That is a spectacular ratio. On the other side of the equation for Lewis, as we clean up the floor a little bit, 7 aces and 15 errors. You take that any day, but 6 aces and 8 errors is spectacular.
It really is, and we knew Loyola was going to bring it from that serving line.
Caldwell again, quickly to the outside to Powell. That's a perfect dig, well off the net. Petty is stuffed. Jendrick again.
Petty knows he had an opportunity there and not happy about getting blocked, but trying to laugh it off.
Well, 15-point tiebreaker, timeout called by Lewis. They got out quickly in this 5th set, leading 4-2. But now, after a couple of service errors and that big stuff block, now Loyola back on top 7-6. Once again, the 2 J's, Jeff Jendrick, the freshman, 6'10", out of Wheaton, Illinois. But Thomas Jayski, the AVCA, American Volleyball Coaches Association Player of the Year. He does so much for this team, Dane, at his outside hitting position.
He really does, and of course the other J, Jeff Jendrick, the newcomer of the year, the freshman in the middle, has had an unbelievable showing here in this national championship game and has really catapulted their team to this point.
Remember, the teams will change sides at 8. The 4th meeting between these 2 teams on the season, twice in the MIVA regular season. They played for the postseason title. That was won by Loyola. And now playing for the national championship. Jendrick, look at that, 14 kills. I mean, middle blockers, middle hitters are reliant players. They rely on a good pass. They rely on a good set. He's taking full advantage, but you add to that 8 blocks, he is having a huge, huge match. And for Jayski, 17 kills. Nothing surprising about that to go along with 9 digs.
Kind of business as usual for Jayski.
He's very talented. He's going to wear a USA uniform very, very soon. As will several other of these players as time goes on. Up to Powell. Powell
again, and that ball's got to come up.
Oh, yeah, that has to be covered, but Lewis, everybody was looking at one another, and somehow it just comes down to the ground. That was an easy play. You know, Powell can't be happy about that one not being covered.
No excuse in any situation for that ball not coming up. Plenty of time for the Lewis Flyers to get in and cover their All-American outside hitter. Nobody moved after the ball, and it cost them big time as the teams changed sides. Cody Caldwell back to serve. Loyola now leading 8-6. They already had a couple of championship points in the fourth set. Overpass. And the joust coming, but Jayski's going to be called for the net violation. That was big.
Really great joust there. Wasn't sure who netted, but look at that push back and forth, and then great call. Jayski into the net, so point for Lewis, but that's a great shot of a really solid duel at the net.
Defensive specialist Tom Logan on to serve now, the lefty. Got to try to find a seam. Loyola has passed better than Lewis all match long. That one's easily handled. Combination play kept alive. Hard shot by Fitterer. Jayski is stuffed. Tied again, now at 8.
Just love the intensity right now. No one flinching. 3 blockers up for Lewis. They block the National Player of the Year in Jayski. And this one's all knotted up at 8.
Another very easy serve. Jendrick again. That ball rocketed off of Fitterer. Not good serving that time out of the back row specialist for Lewis. Really did not get the job done.
The cool thing to look out on this court, and you see all 12 of those players on the court and their benches having the intensity. They know that this can't go any further. 5 or 6 points left to win a national title.
The pass by Petty, one-on-one on the outside. The 2 outside attackers, Petty and Powell, combining there. Petty with a pass, Powell with a perfect kill.
A lot of P's out there. Well, you're absolutely right. Petty and Powell having a huge match, showing you why Powell is a first-team All-American.
Petty with 20 kills. Powell now matching his season high with 18. Ball dug on top of the net, and Olsen takes advantage. We've been saying it all match long. Yanez has been really, really good. The libero wearing number 8 in the black jersey, but he got to dig that ball 6-8 feet off the net.
Yeah, he put a little extra on it, trying to push it to the right position. And with the ball coming with that type of velocity, you have to just absorb. You can't put any into it, or it becomes an overpass.
Setter Peter Hutz back to serve. Loyola back on top by 1. And now by 2.
Wow, how about that? Jayski and Olsen looking hungry up at the net.
Timeout called by Lewis. Back and forth we go. Ties, lead changes in this 15-point tiebreaker for the 46th NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship. We talked about all the P's that are out here doing some great work. They are Petty and Powell, and they have been passing and pounding all night long.
No question about it. They've done it all from the back line. I mean, the range of these 2 outside hitters, they're aggressive, they celebrate their successes, and you gotta love Jeff Powell. Look at him get outside, and it's his quickness. He beats blocks to the position, and he's got an absolutely excellent serve. The bottom drops out of it. That's how he ended that 4th set to force this 5th set. And there's so much focus. 18 kills for Powell, 4 blocks, pretty much doing everything that he can to take his team to victory.
And both Powell and Petty, along with their fine libero, Lucas Yanez, are their almost exclusive receivers. There you see Petty's numbers, both matching season highs, Petty with 20 kills. But what they need now, they need a kill. They'll take it from anybody they can get it. But Lewis has got to get out of this rotation right now. Cuts back to serve. He's done a really good job moving the ball around and having some diversity to the offense for Loyola. Loyola, the number 3 seed. Lewis, number 1. Powell hitting out on the right side. Petty will be available out of the back row. And a quick set. Right side to Powell, and he's stuffed again. Olsen with some help on the outside from Jaski.
Jaski and Olsen not fooled by Powell's deception right there. Powell, quick arm, tries to beat the seam, but it's Jaski who presses with that right hand right into the seam and targets it right back into the court.
18th stuff block for Loyola. Out of the middle again, that off of Olsen and out of bounds. So Lewis point possession, they'll go back to serve. Trailing 12-10.
Yeah, much needed point there by tooling that one off the block. Can Powell muster up some magic from the back line?
High flat shot by Jaski, and now Loyola just 2 points away from repeating. He's got 18 kills.
Even with Lewis's defense off the court, waiting for a high hit, Jaski showing why he is so effective. Hits it nice and high off the hands, up into the crowd.
And missed that serve out of bounds. I'll tell you what, I don't mind him going forward at all. You got a pretty comfortable lead, 3-point separation. He was trying to put the nail in the coffin. That ball served out of bounds. Schmiegelt back to the line, already has an ace on the evening. Needs one now, needs good service pressure against Loyola. Caldwell, so smart. The senior tucking the ball inside the block. Championship point once again. Loyola had 2 championship points in the 4th set. Lewis would not go away. And now, leading 14-11, they have 3 NCAA championship points. Robert Chilcote, serving specialist on for Loyola. Left side and just tucked inside. Quick play to the outside. Petty with a kill inside of Gendry.
Here's now where it gets intense. All Loyola has to do is receive that ball, put it away just one last time.
And the pressure on Eric Fitterer, the 6'8" senior opposite, second-team All-America. Got to serve tough, but you got to serve in. Remember, Loyola won the championship last year on a missed serve by Stanford. For the championship, Caldwell hits it out of bounds. Wow. Timeout, Loyola. 2 more championship points saved by Lewis with a little help from Cody Caldwell as he missed that ball out of bounds.
And Cody Caldwell, the only senior starter on this squad, has all the experience in the world, tries to go for the placement shot right there for the championship, just misses it. But you know what? Loyola has one more opportunity here to seal this thing up, to not let it go into overtime. But the way these two teams have been battling, wow, you'd like this thing to continue on and go on forever.
I still think all the pressure on Lewis. One, Fitterer's got to serve in, but he's got to serve tough. You've got to get Loyola off the net, out of system, to give your block, the best blocking team in the country, an opportunity.
I completely agree with you. Lewis has the pressure on them right now. Trying to serve it tough, but having to serve it in. There's no room for error from that back service line. If you're Loyola, you're thinking, let's just get the pass to the right spot, keep in system, have all our offensive weapons firing, and let's just get one more point for 2015.
For Lewis, it's been the P's, Petty and Powell, all night long. For Loyola, it's been Jaski and Gendrick, the Jays. And Jaski available in the middle back right now. Gendrick available to attack out of the middle. For my money, the ball goes anyplace else, I'll be very surprised. For the NCAA championship, 5th opportunity for Loyola of Chicago. They can become the first ever team from their conference to win back-to-back NCAA championships. serve must be in. Yanez is there. A chance for the tie. Powell up into the block. Free ball opportunity. To the outside, and we're tied at 15. Are you kidding me? Petty with the kill.
Cannot believe it. That's the way to go for it. Yanez, look at the libero, making another huge play. We saw a pancake earlier. That one, he gets up with his right hand, keeps the play alive. Lewis gets that second opportunity, and wow.
Brilliant swing by Jeff Powell out of the back row, into the block, restart the point, and that gave Lewis the big opportunity. Look at this serving. That's going to be 4 contacts. And just like that, a championship point for Lewis.
How fast things turn around.
Loyola led 14-11 and give tremendous credit to the server, number 14, Eric Fitterer. Under pressure time and time again. Not only in, but in tough.
Just cold as ice, nerves of steel to be able to serve that tough with the pressure on.
Championship point coming up. Tight pass off the block. Petty for the win. Out of bounds. No touch detected.
You got to give it up to Petty going for the high hands. He knew the play. He wasn't trying to hit the court. He just wanted to get a touch.
Tied at 15. 6 ties, 3 lead changes in this 15-point tiebreaker. Petty again. Jeski ripping away from Yanez. Championship point number 6. Trevor Novotny on to serve now for Loyola of Chicago. Pretty good jump serve here. 16-15. Petty again. Oh, he stuffed it out of bounds. No, they called it in.
Whoa.
Wow, the referee pointed in the wrong direction. Everybody's getting a little excited, and I understand. Let's take another look.
Yeah, this ball is stuff blocked, but it is just out of bounds. What a fabulous call by the line judge.
Yes.
Seeing that ball moving at that type of velocity, a huge call.
Petty to the back row, tied at 16. Jendrick once again, adding to his career night. Championship point number 7 for Loyola. Cody Caldwell from Newport Beach, California, decided that Chicago was the right fit, and here he is serving a championship point. And not yet. That ball put to the floor by Bobby Walsh. The 2 best teams in the country, Dane, excuse me, in a heavyweight fight.
Right, and we haven't seen Lewis really activate that middle that often, so a gutsy play to make it happen there.
Jeski now in the front court. Out of the middle again, Jendrick. Just a spectacular performance by the nation's top freshman. 17 kills.
And you got to give it up to Peter Hutz, who's really continued to go to his big weapons, even in the clutch, and it's been working so well for Loyola. Another match point.
Number 8. Powell now in the front court, one-on-one, and he puts it away.
How about that angle by Powell? He's shown his range all night, but that one he put a little extra on, it looked like, to hit it around the block and cross court outside of the defender, Jendrick.
9th tie here in the 5th set. Powell Powell for the lead. Yes! Back and forth we go. Second championship point for Jeff Powell and Lewis. Loyola has had 8 championship points. All the hitters on the left side, Dane. The opposite for Loyola is on the sideline. Out of the middle again. How gutsy is that by Peter Hutz?
Really is. I mean, Lewis could have stacked those blockers and maybe committed there, but there's no one up in time, and Olsen has basically a free hit at the net.
And Powell didn't read the play properly. He's got no hitter outside him, and yet he was late on the middle attack. Tied at 19. Dig by Selski. Off the top of the block. And a very slow reaction that time by Lewis. And 20 kills now for Jeski on the outside. And match point, championship point, number 9 for Loyola.
You see, that's what you get when you're a guy like Jeski and you come in hard every time. It puts the defense on their heels. They were expecting a powerful hit right there. He took a little off and got the kill.
Fitterer on the left, Powell on the right. Here is Hutz, championship point again. Powell with the roll shot. Jeski's gonna get a swing at it for the win. A little confusion. Jeski again for the championship. Not yet, Lewis playing great defense. Ball is set too tight and the ball is blocked down. What a play by both of these teams.
I don't believe it. Caldwell trying to get the ref to call a net violation there, but the overpass once again is costly for Loyola.
Tied at 20. Powell, remember, served an ace to keep this match alive. Jeski stuffed straight down.
That was incredible. I didn't know if that was in or out, but it definitely looked like it hit his foot on the way down. It happened so quickly. Huge play by Lewis.
Championship point number 3 for Lewis. Powell again. Combination, Caldwell comes through.
Caldwell, the senior, all the experience in the world. Why not go to him as he takes care of business?
12th tie here in the 5th set. Jeski's got a very good jump serve. Yanez, perfect pass. One-on-one, what a block by Caldwell.
Leave it up to Caldwell. They go to him in the clutch, in the transition, and there he presses hard into the angle, one-on-one, to give Loyola the advantage.
Championship point number 10. Petty's gonna get a crack at it. Tough chance. There it is on the stuff block. Of Chicago, the number 3 seed, have won back-to-back NCAA championships, and it was absolutely a classic.
Just incredible how both of these teams completely fought till the finish, laid it on the line each and every time. Check out that last block, the press. And no net on that. It was the ball hitting the net that Lewis was talking about right there. Just incredible.
Ricky Jevis, the 6'11", 245-pound freshman who has come in. He struggled a little bit during the course of this championship match, Dane, but really helped take them to a